Hey, Dustin Tibbetts here, financial advisor with Jazz Wealth Managers. I think I should change my name to Jazz. I was out of town this weekend and it's kind of cool. They're like, hey, it's Jazz, because I wear the same shirt every day. Sometimes it's a different color. My hair never changes, but it falls out. Somebody said, hey, it's Jazz. My wife's like, I think they're talking to you. And I'm like, my name's not Jazz, but thanks for watching. I appreciate it. So quick shout out to Brian over in St. Augustine. That was cool to be walking down the street and be like, Jazz. Anyways, hey, we like to talk about odds, stats. We like to look at the stats, historical stats. Of course, past performance is not indicative of future results. You should always contact people, blah, 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 and talk to a professional. But it is rather interesting how often what happens in the past simulates itself, often in a different way, going forward. And for example, did you know that the very, very first day, the first available trading day of each year is the most volatile day of the year, right? It may not be this year, or it may not have been last year, but it is historically the most volatile day of the entire year, right? So it's one of those things that we're not necessarily going to do anything about that, but it's nice to know so you're not caught off guard. Well, one of the things that's tracked out there by the American Institute or Association of Individual Investors, AAII, I don't know what it stands for, but they do a study. It's always published. It's a weekly study. I want to share that with you here real quick. If we go over to the charts, they do a bullish, bearish, and neutral sentiment survey, basically. You could sign up for it, actually. You could participate yourself. There are actually nowadays better ways to track sentiment and more geeky ways, but this is what I have to share with you today. The number of or percentage of survey respondents that are currently bullish in the stock market has ticked higher for 2 weeks in a row. Basically what you're seeing here is 1 week, 2 weeks. There's no tick mark, but that's what you're seeing. And you say, okay, the graph that Dustin's showing me looks pretty strong. It looks like we're near highs. Well, let's go out a little further. You go out 3 years, take a look at that data, and you say, well, still looks like it's near highs. Looks pretty good. All right, let's go out even further, 10 years. Yeah, I don't know. It's not at all-time highs. You can see we've been somewhere over here around 60%. That would be a peak at some point. Well, in actuality, I'll just give it to you. Anything over 50% is considered extended. You never get to 100%. The study doesn't go that far. We can go out to the max all the way back into the 80s. You just don't go to 100%, right? So actually anything over 50% is considered above average, and so we're almost there. By the time you watch this video, maybe we even tick over 50%. So what we wanted to do, and we did this on the Closing Beats, a show that we do every day at 5 o'clock. It was last week that we did this. What we did is said, all right, just for fun, when more people are bullish, does the stock market go higher? Or when we get to a point where we're over 50% in bullish sentiment, bullish survey reviews, does that mean we're reaching a top, right? There's two ways to think about it. Either we're becoming so bullish that the market may be topping out, or we're becoming so bullish that that momentum of a strong market would continue. You know that up till hopefully now, the markets have just been, trending higher, looking good. One of the other things I could include for you is bearish sentiment. We could actually take that away. The current bearish sentiment sitting at 22%. Anything under 25% is considered extended to the downside. So it's a little bit different number to get used to there, but that's where we currently stand. Well, on our Closing Beat show, we actually did this study. We went back and said every time the sentiment of the survey was over 50%, let's see how the stock market performed just 1 month going forward. We thought if it was cool, we'd expand on this. We'd see, maybe we'd do like a week later and 6 months later and all that great stuff just to see how the markets respond. Again, we're not saying the markets are going higher or lower, just curious. When we become extended, does the market top out or does it continue going higher? So let's take a look. Here's the data that we shared on the show, just kind of reviewing, having a fun day with you here. This would be the exact day, if you're looking through here, that sentiment peaked over 50% or was just greater than 50%. Here is the 1 month performance from the day that sentiment was considered over 50%. So for example, last time we saw that was back in November of 2020, 55%. We were over that. And the market is, at the moment, 4.04% higher. It hasn't been a full month yet, so you know why we're saying that. All right, looking down through the list here, basically you can only see a handful of times, 6 in total, where the market was actually lower 1 month going forward. This is a limited data. It's 10 years worth of data. We could go back further, I guess, but for now that's what we have. So we're looking here. You see 6 times a little bit lower. That means 76% of the time the market has been positive exactly 1 month forward from sentiment being what's considered extended. Most of the time positive here. The average gain is 1.67% higher. Median gain 1.83%. If we take out, there's really not a lot of big ones in here. You got maybe 2011 and then what's happening right now, 17. Yeah, a couple. All right, there's a couple. Anyways, Elwood, where's the biggest one? Was that 2017? Sure was. Wow, okay. So anyways, average gain 1.67% 1 month forward. What does all this mean? I mean, it's just a fun way to look at data to say, all right, if I own positions in the stock market, I'm a long-term investor, I'm a mid-term investor, there's a lot of data that I can look at that would tell me to do one thing or the other. Here is one metric that basically says there should be no significant headwinds in my short-term future. If there are, that would be considered odd and something is going on. Of course, I don't know, I hope it doesn't happen, but there could be a terrorist attack and that would be odd, which would cause some volatility and maybe these stats wouldn't play out, right? All things being equal, you know now that you're in a position where the market generally responds, or people are responding to the market and are more and more bullish. So it's okay, let them be bullish. Stock market just keeps going higher or at least slowly trends higher. So just a fun one. I don't know if it's crap, I don't know if you like it, but it's the kind of thing that we just like to look at and see what do we expect. Just like that thing I shared with you a minute ago, most volatile day of the year is the first trading day, which we're coming up on. Let's see what happens. It's just nice to know that stuff in case it does or doesn't happen. You can then say, okay, something's off, right? It wasn't volatile. We didn't move. Oh no, what's going on? People are bullish. Sentiment backs that up. Stock market performance backs it up. So we'll see what happens there. I could ramble about this forever, but I just thought I'd share that with you. Kind of things that we cover on The Closing Beat. It's a show that comes on here in just a little bit. It'll be 5 o'clock Eastern Time, live on our YouTube channel. We go over data and stuff like that, as well as the stock market and how it's performed for the day. Hope you'll join us. If not, maybe you hit the subscribe button, thumbs up button, thumbs down if you didn't like it. I don't even know how to do that. See, my thumb didn't do that. All right. Enjoy.